Okay, this out-of-body experience I had this morning on August 14th, and I had it about 6 a.m. because I got up at 4:30. Well, actually, I could have maybe had it about 5:30 a.m. because I was having a hard time going back to sleep, but then I finally went back to sleep, and then, well, no, I didn't go back to sleep. It was right before I fell asleep, I got the out-of-body experience, and after my out-of-body experience, I finally went back to sleep, and then it's like I couldn't freaking wake up. I know that's like happened before, where I'll have an experience, and I don't know, I guess it just wears me out or whatever, and then I fall back to sleep, and I almost overslept, man, because the alarm clock went off, and then I turned it off, and I fell back to sleep, and I almost overslept, but I didn't. But yeah, man. But when I first got up at 5 a.m., which was really 4:30 a.m., I was having a hard time going to sleep. And then right when, you know, I probably laid there 30 minutes or longer, and then, you know, the split second before I went to sleep, that's when I got abducted. And like I say, after the experience, I fell back to sleep, and then I couldn't hardly wake up, you know, because I fell into such a good sleep after that. And the alarm went off, and I turned it off, and yeah, like I fell back to sleep, and then I just all of a sudden like woke up and realized, oh my God, you know, I got to get up. But I still had plenty of time to get ready for work or whatever. But yeah, like sometimes, I don't know, it's like when you keep falling back to sleep like that, you don't want to get up, you know? But, so anyway, okay, I did have an experience by Joel about, it seems like he's been inactive lately, but, I mean, for the past couple months or whatever, until this morning. But I did get an experience by Joel about, 2 weeks ago, but I haven't talked about that one yet. That was just like more of a virtual reality lucid dream. Well, this was an actual out-of-body experience and virtual reality experience that felt no different than 3D, basically. It wasn't lucid dreamy or whatever. Okay, so this experience was an out-of-body experience, and of course virtual reality experience, because I don't believe, you know, he really took me to, well, I don't know, I mean, it could be true, I guess. I don't believe he you know, that they're really taking me to other dimensions and stuff. Or, well, maybe other dimensions, but you know, the people and everything aren't necessarily real. It's just all virtual reality. But yeah, so he's taking me to other dimensions, but the scenery and stuff is virtual reality. And they even kind of tell you that, like in that movie Wrinkle in Time that I just watched. It was very accurate. But anyway, okay, so this is how he abducted me, which he has abducted me like this many times. And first of all, I didn't think I was going to get an out-of-body experience, of course, and I did. So I was very happy. But anyway, I didn't ask for anything specific. I was just okay. Now, okay. At first when I went to bed, you know, like 10:30 or whatever, I started feeling these weird sensations, like kind of weird sensations. I don't know how to describe it, except It just kind of feels like a being was probably messing with me. It was just one of those situations where they take your astral body out, and it just feels like you're going to go out of body. But they're just kind of still in it before you go to sleep and everything. But that was a different being. I believe a different being right when I lay down, a different being kind of took me out. And then after I went to sleep and everything, gave me a lucid dream about me and my mom. We were, I was going to get a mammogram. And my mom came with me and everything, and I was like, I don't trust that doctor, and I decided I didn't want to have the mammogram. And then, and my mom was like, well, okay. And we went into the bathroom and came back out of the big bath, which was a pretty big bathroom, and we came back out of the bathroom and everything. And it seemed like I laid my purse on the floor or something like that. But anyway, it was a lucid dream about that. And of course, recently I got my glasses. Well, I mean, I got an eye exam, and I was like, I don't want this done and the other thing done. There's two things I didn't want done or whatever. So the aliens are funny. They just like to copy off of your brain and shit. Okay, so anyway, okay, so my mom was with me in that lucid dream. Now, Joel did not give me that lucid dream. It was a different being that gave me that lucid dream, which was probably like a couple hours, before I woke up, and then went back to bed, and then boom, I got this out-of-body experience by Joel. Yeah, so anyway, so my mom was in that lucid dream, but it wasn't that great of a lucid dream or whatever, but I mean, it was okay. Okay, so anyway, so I believe a different being kind of like stole me when I lay down last night. I mean, it wasn't Joel, but man, the sensations were a little different. Yeah, I mean, of course, they never really feel 100% exactly the same every night or whatever when they take you out. But yeah, so a different being gave me that lucid dream. Okay, so then after I woke up at by my clock it was 5 o'clock, but it really was 4:30 because I set my clock 35 minutes ahead of time. Okay, so basically I woke up at 4:30 and then went pee-pee, and I had already had the lucid dream about me and my mom and the mammogram and going to that the doctor. Okay, so then that was just a separate, experience, a separate lucid dream or whatever, a separate experience. Okay, so, and the second experience, of course, was the out-of-body experience. So after I went back to bed, I was having a hard time going to sleep, so I was talking to Joel, and I was like, do you want to come give me an out-of-body experience? Out-of-body experience, virtual reality experience. And I even was telling him I don't want a lucid dream. I want an out-of-body experience, virtual reality experience, like he always gives me. Except that experience a few weeks ago, that was more of, I mean, it still was an out-of-body experience, but it was more and it still was virtual reality, but more in a lucid dreamy state. Well, this was a true out-of-body experience. And, virtual reality experience. It was, more like 3D reality, virtual reality. And of course, those experiences are much more memorable too. Okay, so anyway, so I wasn't asking for anything specific, and I wasn't really expecting an experience. Well, I got one. So he got my message, but I mean, I wasn't asking for anything like this. All I was asking for is an out-of-body experience, virtual reality experience. I don't hardly say anything specific. I'll just be like if I can't go to sleep or whatever, I'll just be like, Joel, you want to come give me an experience? Want to come give me out-of-body experience, virtual reality experience? And that's just how I say it, and he knows what I mean. Okay, so this is what I got. Okay, so, and like I said, I already had that lucid dream about me and my mom and the mammogram and stuff before this. And so anyway, and I wasn't going to talk about that one. That wasn't good enough to really talk about or whatever. Okay, so anyway, so this is how it started, and this is how he abducts me many, many times. I started descending. He took me, whatever, my astral body, whatever. I started descending at about down, 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 down. Not like up, 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 up at an angle like I used to back in 2003, 4, 5, and 6. I used to just shoot up like that. Well, I haven't astral traveled like that in a long time. Like, now I just have these out-of-body experiences, you know, different, in a different way, like the beings give me, like Joel gives me. Okay, so, anyway, so I started, after he abducted me, took my astral body or whatever, I started, descending, and like I said, he's abducted me like this many, many times before. I was descending, I was, you know, just descending like down, 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 down. Astrally at about, I would say about 75 miles an hour. And the whole time I was thinking, okay, like, wow, 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 wow. Like, I was thinking, okay, I don't want to be popped out of this experience. I mean, I was thinking this is taking a long time. I don't want to be popped out of this experience, you know, like prematurely. I want to hurry up and get to the, you know, virtual reality scenario. And so as I was descending, and two, I was thinking, you know, that I wasn't scared that he was trying to take me to hell or anything. I knew that he wasn't trying to take me to hell. Some of the beings will try to take you to hell, but somehow I knew, you know, I knew it was Joel giving me the experience, and I knew he wasn't trying to take me to hell, even though I was descending down, 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 down at about, you know, 75 miles an hour. And like I say, I was worried when I was descending. I was like, shit, I was worried that I was too alert and too awake and too conscious that I was going to be, bam, you know, prematurely kicked out of the experience. I was worried about that. And two, okay, the whole time I was descending, like, I felt like my mom was, like, standing there, so to speak. I know it sounds weird because I was descending and I was traveling down, 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 down. But it's like I felt like my mom was, like, standing there, so to speak. But now, you know, I realize that was probably just a screen memory or whatever. It was probably really Joel that was standing there, so to speak, you know, watching me descend. And the whole time I was descending, I kept thinking, like, my mom is a distraction. She's gonna pop me out of this damn experience before I get to the virtual reality scenario, before I get to the other dimension, so to speak. Fake dimension, real dimension, whatever you want to call it. Or, you know, still another dimension, but I mean, it still may be, you know, artificial or virtual reality or whatever, but still another dimension. Okay, so anyway, but yeah, I realized, you know, Joel just probably made me think, oh, my mom, because I had just had a lucid dream with me and her, and, you know, the mammogram and the doctor and stuff. Okay, so anyway, because it seemed like I was descending at a long time, and I'm thinking, okay, I want to hurry up and get to the damn experience. You know, the whole scene, the whole scenario that he presented for me, or that he's going to present for me. Okay, so finally, it's like, you know, I get to the scene, and this is what I see. Everything, you know, brightens up, and this is what I see. I see, like I'm in a big movie theater. I see a big movie screen with nothing but bright, what do you call that? I guess you call them pastel colors. Bright, pastel, colorful colors, with all these different geometric shapes. That's the first thing that was on the screen. And I was thinking, wow, this is just like that other experience. Right when I was in the experience, I was thinking all this. This is just like that other experience he gave me with all those colorful cartoon houses. You know, because he gave me that one experience. And as I was flying, see, that time, I was flying down and crooked and everything else. And I think I flew up a little bit too. But I'll have to go listen to that video again. But right when, after I did all the astral traveling, after, you know, everything was all murky, then boom, when he stuck me in the virtual reality scenario, that's how it started. He presented me with a big old neighborhood of colorful cartoon looking houses, like it was cartoon houses. And so this experience was similar. I mean, not similar, but similar in that way. Yeah, so he stuck me in a movie theater basically. And it was all these, that was on the cover and the whole screen, all these different colors. And I don't know, he's got a sense of humor. I don't know where he gets that from. He puts his own creativity in my experiences, because, I mean, I don't know where he gets that from, because I'm not into colors and painting or anything like that. So anyway, that's what I first see. All these, I was in a movie theater, all I see is the big screen, all these awesome colors, bright colors, all these geometric shapes covering the whole big, huge screen. And then I see Mickey Mouse, like Mickey Mouse was just like jumping at me. Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. And I was just like, wow. And, okay, so then, okay, this is the funny part. Joel, I haven't done a video about that yet, but Joel has communicated, around 2013 or 2014, him, and I think there's a couple other beings too, but mainly Joel, started to communicate to me by 1980s pop songs, 1980s, late 1970s, early 1990s, mainly 1980s pop songs. Because all those songs were very popular, you know, to me back then. You know, me and my sister. And they were just very popular back then, and they're just so embedded in my head, all the lyrics and stuff, because they played those songs over and over again. And I was asking him several weeks ago, like, when are you going to start communicating to me again by pop songs? Well, I guess he got the message, even though it was like several weeks later, he gives me this experience and finally communicates a couple pop songs to me, so to speak. Okay, so right after Mickey Mouse started hopping at me, like flashing on the screen. Okay, no, wait, first of all, after Mickey Mouse starts flashing on the screen, then I see a quick clip of The Price is Right with Bob Barker in it. And I hear the music and everything. And I did watch The Price is Right, you know, about a week ago. Now Mickey Mouse, the only anyway, what I was gonna call it was the Disney movie theater, even though Joel didn't tell me that that's what it was called, but that's what I'm calling it, the Disney movie theater. But anyway, I don't know where he got Mickey Mouse from, because you know, I mean, I know Mickey Mouse is like a Disney character. Like, I did have the word Disney on the brain, but not Mickey Mouse on the brain, if that makes sense. Because I watched Wrinkle in Time and just recently, and you know, that's a Disney movie. So I did I had Disney, you know, like on the brain, but not Mickey Mouse. So I don't know where he got Mickey Mouse from. But in my cubicle at work, I do have a Mickey Mouse watch, there used to be a watch in it. I think it was my mom's watch. She gave me the little metal container, and it has Mickey Mouse on it. So I don't know if he maybe picked that from my brain, but that was kind of weird. So after Mickey Mouse started flashing at me, after all the pastel geometric colors that was covering the screen, and after the Mickey Mouse, then I saw a quick episode of The Price is Right, and I heard the music and everything, and it was Price is Right with Bob Barker, not with the other guy. And then after that, that's when Whitney Houston started playing the Whitney Houston song, the exact replica and everything. It was exact replica of The Price is Right that started playing, the exact replica of Whitney Houston. And the song was Dance with Somebody. Here's the song right here. I guess I can play it and not get in trouble. So Dance with Somebody was the song that he blurted out at me in this scenario. Okay, and so then after that, I end up, okay, so when the scenario first started, it was like, I was kind of like in the middle of the theater, the Disney, I'll call it Mickey Mouse Theater. And I'm just calling it that. Joel didn't tell me that that's what it was called, but he put me in a movie theater, basically, with a big movie screen. Okay, so basically, I was kind of like in the middle of the theater, kind of close to the front, but in the middle of the theater. So after he presented me with the song and Mickey Mouse and Price is Right and the pastel geometric colors, and see, I don't know why they're into that, because the crop circle makers, you know, do that shit too. And I'm pretty sure the reptilians, they have laid some crop circles down before, but they don't do it often. It's mainly those other angelic kind of beings, great kind of beings. But I think they have done it before. I think they have laid down crop circles before, but it's mainly not, you know, everybody knows it's mainly not them laying them down. And I actually saw the beings in a crop circle when I went to England or whatever. But there may be some grays that lay them down too occasionally. But yeah, so it's kind of weird. I don't know, you know, I don't know why they're into these geometric shapes or whatever. But that seems to be a thing with them. Okay, so anyway, so after he presents me with all of that, the Price is Right, the Whitney Houston song, and the geometric shapes, and the Mickey Mouse, I'm towards, like, at the back of the theater over to the right. I'm in the back of the theater over to the right, and I start looking at these two little kids. The Mel was standing on the left, the girl was standing on the right, and I can't remember if the boy was naked or not, but the girl was streaked naked. And it's like they were both kind of like, it's almost like they were playing out a skit or something. Like they were doing a little, it's like they were arguing and playing and stuff, but it's like they were acting or something. They were just like, you know, like doing a little skit or something. And then, and I was towards, like, in the right back part of the theater, looking over. Actually, I was turned around at this point over to my right, and then I saw these two little kids. And then I saw way back behind me, their parents came kind of running down and was like, you know, quit playing. They were telling the kids, like, to quit playing. And so finally the kids quit playing. I think the boy, I don't know, I think he was naked too, but I can't remember. But the girl was streaked naked, because she was on the right. And they both were face to face, like arguing, and it's almost like they were acting out a little skit. And the boy and girl, they looked about, let's see, about 9 years old. And so anyway, so after I see that, the little skit, yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny because, like, he puts me in a movie theater, and it's like he, you know, he doesn't really make me watch a movie. He does this other funny stuff, like with Mickey Mouse, and then it's like he makes me watch a live movie with these two little kids, like, doing a little skit, you know, back in the back. It was kind of like before the movie even started, so to speak, but I don't know what movie I was supposed to be seeing, so to speak. Okay, so anyway, after that, I started, after I looked at the children and after I looked at the parents kind of run down from the back of the bleachers, the back of the theater, ran down, they were just kind of like, quit playing, quit joking around. And I think it was because they were saying that because the movie was about to start, so to speak. Okay, so anyway, so then, after all of that, I started feeling my body, and this isn't the first time I've done this. Because sometimes I'll feel my body and I'm totally, like, energetic. And sometimes I can feel my body and it's totally physical. And this experience, it was totally physical. And I was, for whatever reason, I started, and like I said, I'm sure Joel was controlling me 100%. I mean, it may not seem like he was, but he probably was. So my left, I started, like, for whatever reason, I wanted to see if I was physical or whatever. I wanted to touch myself or whatever. And normally, when I'm in these experiences, I'll go around touching other things to see if everything still feels physical. And this experience, I started touching myself. So I touched my left arm, and then I couldn't really feel anything. And then I started biting it. I started biting my wrist, my left wrist. I started biting it, and I couldn't feel anything, even though I felt 100% physical. But like I say, I'm sure he made me do all that. So anyway, I was writing some notes down here. I was physical in this experience and nothing hurt. Oh yeah, and another thing. And I somehow knew, when I started looking at like the mom and dad come running down, I started looking at them after they told the children like to stop playing. I started looking at about 5 or 6 other patrons, you know, that were about to watch the movie. And I was looking at him. As far as I remember, I was mostly seeing women, about 5 women, 1 man I was looking at. And I somehow knew, it's like I was thinking, this is kind of cool because I knew that I was invisible to them. I was invisible to them. I somehow knew that. And I was thinking that in my head, like, wow, I'm invisible to them. And in a way, it didn't really make sense because if I'm sitting there physical and everything, standing there physical, I shouldn't be invisible to them. But for whatever reason, I was invisible to them. And this is just things that Joel was just making me believe and telling me, you know, in my head or whatever. And, okay, so basically, let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay, basically, there was one more part. And, so after that, after I started having those thoughts, like, wow, you know, after I started feeling my body, knowing that I'm still physical, then I started looking at like 5 or 6 patrons, you know, about to watch the movie. And I was like, wow, I know I'm invisible to them. I knew I was somehow. I just knew that. I guess Joel, you know, told me that I was. Okay, so after that, I started hearing the song Kool and the Gang, Celebration. And here's that song. And like I say, both of these songs are like 1980s or whatever. Oh, here's The Price is Right theme song or whatever. Oh crap, that's not it. Okay, but oh, I must have deleted the Kool and the Gang one. But here's The Price is Right. But yeah, he duplicated all of that to a T in my scenario. Well, I don't have to play Celebration or Kool in the Game because you probably already know that song. Okay, so anyway, but I did have it down at the bottom of my computer. So at the end of the scenario, he played Celebration Time, Come On, by Kool and the Gang. And he didn't play the whole 3 or 4 minutes, but you know what I'm saying. But anyway, the whole experience, when I have these kind of experience, sometimes, you know, they're not just super long. Sometimes, I mean, some of my more lucid dreamy type of experiences, sometimes those are the ones, the virtual reality lucid dreams, those are the ones that can last, seems like they last for hours and hours and hours. This experience was pretty long, but they don't ever seem to be quite as long as my lucid dream virtual reality experiences. But at least it was pretty significant and it's pretty damn cool. And it was totally out of body, where I was just like astral traveling down at like 75 miles an hour. Total blast. But anyway, okay, so at the end of the scenario, he started playing Kool and the Gang, Celebration Time. And there was one last part. So after that, I looked towards the screen, so to speak, and many feet away, you know, from the screen. I was, well, actually, from me, I was probably only about 20 feet, kind of over to my left. Before I actually, you know, was looking at the screen, I saw these, the cups that you use to go get your drink at the movie theater. Some of the cups, I mean, some of the cups were like a half gallon. They're that big, you know, and you could go to like, the convenience store and they'll have cups. You know, you could get Cokes in the cups, and some of those cups are as big as almost like a half gallon or close to it. Well, these cups were like stacked, right? Which makes no sense. It was like the little soda machine was just right there in the middle of the movie theater. And like I say, at that point, I was towards the back of the movie theater, standing there. And then I looked towards the front where the movie screen was, and about 25 feet away from me, I saw the cups. But I was looking at these cups, and I was just like, wow, you know, I can't believe people drink all that Coke. You know, because Joel knows that I don't drink Coke or soda pop. Okay, so anyway, so the cups, they looked about, okay, they were stacked all the way to the ground, all the way to, like, I kid you not, they were stacked just straight up all the way to like, oh my God, how many feet? Shit, how many feet would that be? Like 40 feet in the air, 30, 40 feet in the air. And all the cups were like almost as big as like a half gallon. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe people drink that much Coke. Because you know that's got to be a lot of caffeine, a lot of sugar. But yeah, it's just kind of funny because it was just right there. I mean, in real life, you would never see something like that. You know, the little Coke machine just right there, randomly in the middle of the bleachers, so to speak. With all the cups stacked high, whoops, like one by one, stacked high, you know, 30, 40 feet in the air. And, but anyway, yeah, and this experience was slightly sexual, but I'm going to edit all that part out. Joel has a way of, like, sometimes, like, even when if he doesn't make it, like, hardcore sexual or whatever, he'll make me think, like, sexual thoughts. Like, just weird sexual thoughts. You know, even if he doesn't, like, you know, do anything sexual or whatever, or make me do anything sexual or anything like that. Sometimes he'll just make me have sexual thoughts. So yeah, in this experience, and it's rare that he doesn't put any kind of sex in my experience, you know, period. That's kind of rare. He normally always puts some kind of sex, either kind of hardcore or just kind of lightcore or whatever. I mean, you know, like a lot of sex or just barely any sex. I don't mean like hardcore. I just mean he either makes it really sexual or just not very sexual at all or whatever. But yeah, this experience was freaking cool, and I was kind of shocked when I got it, of course, because like I say, he's been kind of inactive lately. Except he gave me that experience about 2 or 3 weeks ago. That lucid dreaming experience. Oh, and that experience, oh, I actually was asking for sex in that experience. I haven't talked about that experience. I'm going to have to edit a lot of part out, but I can still talk about it. It'll be pretty quick. It won't be a very long experience. But yeah, that experience, I was actually asking for sex just to see what I would get. Oh yeah, and he made it sexual all right, but I'm going to have to edit all that part out. And that was, like I say, virtual reality under more of a lucid dreaming state. And that experience was about 3 weeks ago, but I haven't talked about that one. But yeah, before that, you know, it had been quite a while since he's given me my normal out-of-body virtual reality experience. It had been a while. A couple months maybe. Or a month and a half or something. But yeah, man, this experience was cool. And like I say, they repeat themselves. They do a lot of... I mean, every experience is so different, but they still repeat themselves, you know, certain elements. Like, he's stuck me in movie theaters many times before, and other beings as well. And I have about 80% of the songs that he communicated to me back in 2013 and 2014, 2015. I wrote them all down. I wrote 80% of them down, but I haven't talked about that in a video or whatever. But these are 2 new ones. He's never communicated this Whitney Houston song or the Kool and the Gang. And there's been, of course, other songs too. He and another being or 2 communicated, you know, songs to me, and I couldn't quite remember them right when I woke up, and so they just like faded away. But yeah, I have about 80% of the songs. Like I say, it started in when was it? It's the communication by those 80s pop songs, it started right in 2014 or 2013 when I knew who was giving me the experiences, when I singled out the being that kept giving me experiences, or I singled out 1 to 3 beings that kept giving me experiences, or 2 to 3 beings. And that's when it's like they knew that I caught on to them, and they started communicating these 80s pop songs. That's how it all started. Now, it's very possible they probably have tried to communicate pop songs to me even way, way back, and I just didn't know it. That's possible too. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. These beings, they're so smart. And, I mean, it's like, it's so much easier. Oh, just flip a pop song, you know, at her or whatever, and that's how we get our communication through. It's really interesting. You know, instead of them trying to like talk to you or something, they're very smart. But yeah, I haven't talked about that video yet, about all of the pop songs that they've communicated to me. And like I say, that kind of slowed down. And like I say, a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, I was like, when are you going to communicate? When are you going to communicate to me the 1980s pop songs? Well, like I say, I guess he was still listening, and I finally get this experience, and he puts Kool and the Gang and Whitney Houston in my experience. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. Oh, I'm sure I'm forgetting just some small little stuff. Because, the woman and the man, the mom and dad of these little kids, I mean, I know they actually said some things, and of course, I can't remember what they said. I mean, it probably wasn't that important, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's hard to remember every single, I mean, 100%. Especially, I mean, it's easy to remember 100%, but if there's talking and stuff like that, you know, it's going to be kind of extra hard to remember, you know, certain words or whatever, like the dad and mom said or whatever. But I remembered about 100% of it, though. But anyway, that was my experience. To the Mickey Mouse Theater. That's what I call it, the Mickey Mouse Theater. Although he did not tell me that that's what it was called. But he presented me with Mickey Mouse after he showed me all the geometric shapes. And like I say, I don't know why he picked... he just knew that Mickey Mouse has something to do with Disney. And like I say, I did have Disney on the brain for several days. And actually, hardcore. I kind of had a hardcore embedded in my brain. Because I kept thinking, after I watched that movie, Wrinkle in Time, I kept thinking... like, wow, these Disney movies, they're always kind of the same, and they always have these subliminals, these weird subliminal sexual things, or alien subliminals, these aliens, you know, that they'll have certain things in the movie that look like aliens, like trees and stuff. And, you know, I was thinking that, and how, there's a certain element of you know, they're kind of cheesy. Some of these Disney movies, you know, kind of cheesy, you know, because they're made for kids, so to speak. Well, kind of for adults too, but for kids too. So I had Disney on the brain, but I did not have Mickey Mouse on the brain. So I just think it's kind of weird that he sticks Mickey Mouse. But it's kind of cool because I don't remember any experiences where he's ever stuck Mickey Mouse. So, you know, he always switches it up, you know. He's never put Price is Right, or at least not just blaring at me and the theme song and everything at me. So that's kind of cool because, you know, no one experiences is ever totally alike. But yeah, I'll put that other video, that other out-of-body experience that I had with the houses. The colorful cartoon houses. But yeah, so after I was descending, it seemed like forever and ever. I was like, when am I going to get to the scenario? And I do that a lot when I know I'm being abducted and I'm astral traveling. I'm thinking, okay, you know, when am I going to get to the experience? I'm thinking that to myself the whole time because I'm so afraid I'm going to get prematurely kicked out of the experience. Because I know that's happened before. And then when everything lightens up, when I get to the scenario, it's the most coolest freaking thing. When everything brightens up and I get to the scenario. And this was the first thing that's presented to me. The big old movie screen with all the colorful geometric shapes. covering the whole movie screen. Totally cool. Thanks for listening.